My next guest today I'd like to welcome is Sebastian Fabry. Hello, Sebastian. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Welcome to Denodo DataFest. I'm Suresh Chandrasekharan, Senior VP for Denodo. A pleasure to talk to you today. So you're with Looker. Looker is a fast-growing company like Denodo. So why don't you tell me your role and what Looker does to the rest of the audience?
Yeah, sure. So I've been with Looker for just 3 years now, since we've been starting to expand in the London market, in EMEA, etc. And Looker really is a BI data platform where we are encouraging users to get access to data directly through a governance layer. So you can define and create all the metrics that are needed in a way that's consistent.
Yeah.
And then this is all obviously based on then a single source of truth, which things like Denodo allow to provide, I guess, to Looker so that we can then expose it to the end user.
Yeah, so we bring all this disparate data together, and then you can build a semantic model on that. And so one of the differentiations, I think, of Looker in a fairly crowded BI market is that you're not just a visualization tool, you also provide that semantic data modeling, data management area. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure, exactly. So that is really the key piece to Looker. We're connecting directly to the data source. The semantic layer, the modeling layer allows the developer, the team that's in charge of the data definitions, to create them uniquely and flexibly. And then as users need reports, whether it's a visualization, whether it's an email, whether you're embarking analytics, or even you need just API to feed other tools. All of those are coming through the governance layer. So you go back to that single source of definition, and you're then sending a SQL request to the data source that then can do the leverage its power to do the computing.
Okay. Well, why don't you talk to me about some of the customer conversations you're having and how they see some of their challenges and trends, and how the combination of what Looker provides and this idea of a logical data layer underneath seems to address those concerns.
Yeah, sure. So we see a lot of larger enterprises are facing challenges with, I guess, legacy BI tools as well as legacy databases, which are very large and incumbent, and they're trying to figure out how to bring this into the 21st century, essentially. Sure. And so there are multiple ways of doing that. Obviously, the cloud is, leveraging the cloud, leveraging hybrid deployments. All of this is what is encouraging us to then expose the data that's available to the end user.
So wherever the data is, they want to be able to access it, even if it's in motion, meaning it's being migrated from one place to the other, tools are being migrated.
Exactly, exactly. And while they're doing that in the back end, when the IT is doing that, they want to have transparency. They want it to be not transparent, the opposite actually. They want it to be invisible to the end user, so they don't want to disrupt the end user. Exactly. They want the business to be able to continue as usual, even if in the background what we're doing is pointing to new places, and that's possible by decoupling that end presentation from the sources.
To the sources. Now we have some joint customers who have been very, very successful. In fact, I had one of them present at the Denodo event in San Francisco say that the Looker dashboards that they had were the heaviest user was the top management, including the CEO. So it was so popular because they were providing operational data. So in addition to sort of decision making for executives, give me some other examples of where Looker and data virtualization have sort of worked together. Do you see this also as a provisioning for self-service BI, for discovery, for other kinds of analytics? Yeah,
exactly. So I guess there's two other things I would highlight. One is reporting back to external customers or external stakeholders, whether that can be through embarked analytics. And I guess one of the presentations we saw earlier was talking about how they're able to leverage visualization, I guess, on top of itself to do that. And then the other case is to provide information that is governed. So for example, to data scientists that might be using things like R or Python to do more complex computing. They also need that input data to be correct, right? And so to avoid spending all that time data cleansing and to instead be able to just concentrate on the algorithms themselves, Looker, using Looker as an API, using Denodo as a source of information allows you to get that data cleanly,
Yeah.
and B, ensuring that your input is the same as what the business is doing.
Yeah.
And
So they can focus on what they do best, which is the analytics and
Exactly.
bringing out the
Correct.
trends and things like that.
And the output is actually making sense since we know that the input was also
To the
correct.
business. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, thanks for sharing those trends. And how have you found the conference so far? Thank you for being the sponsor. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Yeah, it's been great being here. The presentations have been very interesting.
All right. Well, thank you, and
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of the show. I think lunch is waiting for all of us, and so appreciate your taking some time to talk to us.
No problem. Have a nice day.
Thank you.